Hello and welcome, my friends. It's Jennifer from Mystic Star. Sorry I'm a minute late. I decided at the last minute I should probably get a cold drink because it's, warm here for once, and, I'm going to be talking for a while. So today we're going to be looking at the week to come. It's really hard to believe that we are already into May 30th, and, at the end of the week, on Tuesday, we welcome in June. This week reading is from May 30th to June 5th. It sounds so crazy to believe that we are headed straight into summer. And before long, we're going to be at that summer solstice, enjoying that sun for the longest part of the year. And I hope this year, because last year, the summer solstice, it was kind of rainy and cold. It really didn't feel like the first day of summer. So I'm hoping that we have that sunshine this year. At least that's what happened where I'm from. So for this week, I actually changed my mind a couple of times on what cards I wanted to use. I'm going to use the Shadowscape Tarot, which I absolutely love. I love the soft colors. The imagery is fantastic. And then I'm going to be using my new deck, which is called Beyond Lemuria. It's fantastic and upside down, but it has a similar palette and is just as beautiful. Blessings to you too, Lucian. How are you? So I'm going to be using both these decks for the reading. Now, like always, I do have links below to both these fantastic decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. I know this deck came out and I wasn't even aware of it. That said, I'm not usually up to date on the tarot or the oracle. It's more the tarot decks I get kind of the FYIs on. So I did find a couple decks in the last couple of weeks that these oracle decks came out and I didn't know. So I'm really excited to use them. I'm not too thrilled about the size, but hey, what are you going to do, right? All right, so what can my friends expect from the week of May 30th? Oh, sure. I ask that they keep on the table, but it doesn't always happen. To June 5th. They have been working well. I have done a couple readings with this deck, not many. It is a bit thicker. It's getting used to the nuances of the deck. And trying to find where that card shimmied to without rolling on it. Oh, but it's important. The throat chakra. Express your truth. I love this deck. It partially works in the 5th dimensional chakra system, which many of us aren't working in, but most of us need to be. When we're working with that energetical self, we're starting to really burn ourselves out. It's like we have these little receptors kind of by our throat chakra that fizzles because we are trying to project, we're trying to share and amplify energies that the lower vibrational chakra system was never meant to hold. So this deck starts to work in that 5th dimension. I love working in the 5th dimension because I get such a really deep-rooted, grounded energy from my soul star chakra. It's fantastic. So I encourage people to not only work with their chakra system, but look at upgrading that chakra system and learning more about the 5th dimension. So, of course, us being in Mercury retrograde now, that communication is essential. We need to be working on not only what we're saying, but because our ears are connected right into that throat chakra, into that band, what we're hearing as well. Because communication, all communication, is impacted by this. Not only do we need to be working on our throat chakra, I also recommend your third eye. Why? Because our ears don't always pick up what is being said. However, if we're using all our senses, we have a better ability to pick up more. Now, whether or not you're using your full clair system or partial is better than nothing. Most of us have shut down our clairvoyance and clairaudience due to fear, whether fear of what we saw or heard, fear of what would happen if we kept talking about it. Doesn't matter. It's been shut down. We did not shut down our clairsentience and our claircognizance. Clairsentience is that feeling. Nobody has ever said, no, don't feel. Because then they're saying, no, be a psychopath, be a sociopath, it's fine. No, people want you to feel. It's just we don't always trust what we're feeling because everybody feels that. Just like knowing that claircognizance. Everybody knows that. We can talk ourselves out of information that is very important, that no, not everybody knows. So using both these clairs will support you in overcoming the challenges of Mercury retrograde in this week and the weeks to come. Oh, such a gorgeous card. The infinite. Of course, you're working with your infinite self here. We have had past lifetimes, past experiences, current experiences, concurrent experiences. We continue, to grow and develop. We need to use knowledge, experience, and tools, aspects of self that we've used before. We don't want to limit ourselves. When we limit us to what we know on the here and now that can be proven, we are missing out. Why? Because we have an infinite support team. We have infinite energy we can tap into. We have infinite knowledge. We have the collective knowledge that we can tap into. Why limit what it is we're receiving? Especially during a time where we know communication is going to be the biggest challenge. If we can connect into the collective consciousness and go, okay, this is kind of what they're saying. It's not what they're saying. It's not what I'm picking up, but this is what's being supposed to be shared. You're going to feel a lot more better. Additionally, if you use your mind and your high vibrational self and just say, hey, we've been chatting for a while. There's been a lot of stuff, we've talked about. What is it that you're getting from me? What have I said that you're understanding? What is it that you need to do? What is it that I need to do? That checking in will support you in knowing where they're at, and they know where you're at. There's not a lot of area for error where you're looking at miscommunications or misinterpretations. And I would just say you want to keep it on the high vibration, because when we stay in the high vibration, of course, we're going to be able to get results that are, high vibrational. So lots of I's and lots of me's, not you. And don't point at them. Don't go, you, because then it gets more of an attack. I've shared a lot of information. We've been talking for a long time, and I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page you're on. What is it that you heard me say? This is what I heard you say to me. How can we bring it to par? And if they are a little bit into this, you can say, you know what, we entered into Mercury retrograde like now on Monday, and communication's going to suck. Our computers are going to suck. So let's work together. Again, coming off with a very different energy than that attack or that response, that gut response where you're just like, because that's not going to help. It's not going to help you, not going to help them. A lot more problems for both of you. So let's use our skills in this lifetime, past lifetimes. We've got so much, especially if we're working on that throat chakra or we're getting that communication. We're working on it and we're strengthening it. I do have a number of meditations where we're working on the chakra system and communication. You can go through and see which ones resonate with you. Some are with angels, some are without angels. Some are with high vibrational beings, some are just with me and you. So see what resonates with you, because we're all different. But let's look at the beginning of the week. The High Priestess. Such a different interpretation, but we still have that lunar connection with the owl, and she's holding a pomegranate. I love it. So that beginning of the week, that intuitional self is going to be utmost. It's going to help with both aspects because, again, we're working in that higher vibrational arena. We're working with our frontal cortex. The more grounded we are, the more stable we are, the more we're going to be able to use more of our brain, ask those questions, stay in the high vibration, and get some results done. Many people like to say, oh, it's Mercury retrograde, nothing's going to work, so I'm just going to go over here and read a book. Sure, read, decompress, but don't hide. Use your tools, use your knowledge of this past lifetime, lifetime before, head into the collective consciousness, tap into the universal energy, rejuvenate you, gain some other insight, gain that aha. It's there. We just need to do it because no one else is going to do it for us. Part of this journey is kind of being a super sleuth and figuring out what it is we wanted to do, how we wanted to do it, and how we can get ourselves back on track. Because most of us fell off the wagon a long time ago and they've moved on. We have no idea where we are. We have no idea where we're going. We need to use that intuitional, high vibrational connection to our support team, to our higher self, and get ourselves going again. And I am not a big proponent of leaps and faith or leaps and bounds and leaps of faith type idea. It's not stable. We get afraid. Take it slow and steady. Sure, we may have lost the wagons a long time ago. That doesn't mean we have to be afraid. It doesn't mean that we're not going to pick up friends along the way. When we slow down, we're able to enjoy this process, enjoy the beauty that everything's going to bring us. Even Mercury retrograde offers transformation and beauty. It's there. It's always been there. We're just not always really that observant. Let's head off to the middle of the week. Okay. The aha, the Ace of Swords. I love how pragmatic this deck is. This is like, and here you go. I'm not sure why you're even asking me. You already knew this, but I'll just let you know anyway, in my beautiful self. So, the Ace of Swords. The more we use our head, we use our high vibrational connection, not only will the High Priestess start to help us through her gateway, she's usually got pillars beside her, the B and the J, so you can walk through and embrace it. And last month, I talked about the High Priestess and what the B and the J stood for and different things like that. She is a gatekeeper. And eventually, I will go through all 72 cards in depth in my Tarot 101 class. It's not going to happen right away because it can get overwhelming. I want to add in a lot more fun, including some of this energetical stuff I want to share with you guys. So you might see the Tarot 101 kind of branch off into other kind of teaching realms. I think that will really help to balance stuff out. Sure, we'll go through these cards, but that knowledge, it's just not on one topic. We are very dynamic beings, so we need information on a lot of different insights and different know-hows. But the middle of the week, we're looking at taking that High Priestess, taking her hand and gaining that knowledge. She usually holds the Scroll Torah, which is that universal knowledge. Again, these cards are connecting very nicely together where we're looking at those ahas. And I just happened to look down. We have indigo butterflies. This one is a bit of orange, but lots of indigo butterflies. Where did we see an indigo butterfly? Indigo is the color of your throat chakra. These two decks were created decades apart by different artists. this is why I love, I was like, I wanted the Beyond Lemuria deck. I wanted that for this week, but I didn't know what deck to put it with until I saw this. I'm like, oh yeah, no, we need this one. So let's go on to the end of the week. All right, that one. What does the end of the week bring, my friends? We know no knowledge and transformations coming your way. And some people, like I said, like to hide during Mercury retrograde. The Magician. Of course. Oh, I love this deck. Your skills, your abilities, they are going to amplified and be strengthened by what we're picking up throughout the week. Those aha moments are going to light the fire be underneath the Magician, really tapping into your skills, your abilities, amplifying what it is you can and will get done. Should you believe in yourself? It's a big part of the Magician, is believing in you and your abilities. And what's more, using the tools. Don't think it's in this deck, but usually the Magician has the pentacle, the sword, the wand, and the cup right on a table right beside him. Some decks don't have it, and I can't see it in this deck. But that's the Magician, though. He uses his everyday tools and stuff that he uses to his advantage. Now, of course, we do have the double ones, the ace within. Yes, Lucian. Exactly. Ace and the Magician. Snake eyes. When you see that multiple one, the angels are reminding you that you need to use your abilities and trust in you. Really echoing what the Magician has already said. Also, we have the High Priestess and the Magician. That balance. The Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. We're just coming off of a full moon energy. We still have that ability right now to tap into it a little bit. It's not as predominant, but we can call it in. That Divine Masculine. We need to balance that out. It doesn't matter what gender you identify with, what gender you are or are not. We have both within us, that yin and that yang. We need to make sure that it is balanced so that we are more stable, more open, and more grounded to the insight, that wisdom, and guidance that we need. The Magician was very, very clear. He needed to come out. So, that Divine Masculine, we're not only going to need to make sure it's balanced at the end of the week, but tap into that stability, that support that the Divine Masculine has. It's a fantastic energy to dive into. I do have a meditation I did a couple months ago where we're balancing out these two energies. And then that's in my Just You and Me playlist. And then the first one I did in my Just You and Me playlist, I did a protection meditation with both these energies. These energies are here for your support. They're for you. How are you going to use them? How do you need them most this week? Using them to your advantage, of course, is a fantastic, fantastic idea. Easy ways to do that, not only meditation, through crystals. Any black and white crystal, of course, will hold both energies. This is the one I was looking for. Some howlite. Of course, you can use something like a moonstone to connect into the Divine Feminine. And then a grounded, earthy stone. You could use, well, here I have shungite. You could use a piece of shungite. Whatever is, oops, got those mixed up. Whatever is going to bring in that earthiness for you. So that literally, it's like a nice little pendulum here, a balancing act. We've got sword in the middle, and then the two very big powerhouses on the end. Let's use them to your advantage. Connecting in, giving time for self to understand you, your talents, your abilities that you know about, and ones that are going to start to emerge because you need them now. So let's look at the challenge. We know Mercury retrograde is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for a couple of weeks. But what else? And I did look into some forward planning. We have another Mercury retrograde coming up in September. And then that's it. We are done for the year. Which then led me to think, okay, it's been a couple of years since we've had 4 Mercury retrogrades. When's that going to happen next? 2022. Well, Lucian, I think that's very important. Lucian has just written that he has purchased a moonstone and then a black moonstone bracelet 2 hours before this reading. Well, sometimes that higher self knows exactly what you need. The Knight of Pentacles. It's such a cool rendition of it. So, of course, you have that no fear energy of the Knight, that adolescent energy. Now, Pamela Coleman Smith drew her original knights in varying stages of motion, or the Knight of Swords is gangbusters into a storm, whereas the Knight of Pentacles, he's steadfast on his horse, admiring his plant, like his field that he just planted, and his pentacle. We're going to try and avoid that. Our ego, rather than our higher self, is going to be like, yeah, we don't need to do that. That's about growth. That's about change. Scary. Let's look at anything else but ourselves. Why? Because your ego doesn't want you to grow. Your ego wants you to go in circles and stay in this little box that it's put you in. If you're stagnant and swirling, chasing your tail, your ego's done what it's wanting to do, to keep you safe. At one point in time, we really did need our ego, because our ego did keep us safe from like the saber-toothed tigers and the lions and the scary roars. However, now we don't need it so much. We don't need our ego to slow us down. We do a really great job without it. So we do need to make sure that we are very mindful of it. I'd have to see, is it Gio? I'm not sure if I'll have time at the end, but if I do, I will open the floor up, okay? So, easiest way to turn the Knight upright, of course, is going to be grounding it, grounding self. So, using whether it be a crystal. Shungite is okay for grounding. I find it better for the technology waves or purifying water. And the reason I know it's shungite, it's kind of got a matte. It's really hard to see in the lights, but it's got a matte finish to it. Shungite is fantastic for clearing energies, clearing out water and stuff. I can't use it in my water. I suffer from migraines, so if you are a migraine sufferer, please don't put that in your water. You can put it beside your water and get as the energetic clearing you need. In my Patreon readings, I was talking about how shungite, I keep it by my computer to make sure that I'm not being impacted by all that energy, especially during Mercury retrograde. It's not good. So keeping a small piece of shungite around really does help. But for the grounding, I keep my crystals close at hand because I use them a lot. Little piece of tiger iron. So fantastic. Any red or brown crystal will really support you in that grounded, that stability we need. So the more grounded you are, the more you're going to be able to direct that Knight to where he needs to be the most. And it's right with the High Priestess and the Knight, making sure we are connecting into that infinite energy. You don't carry the kitchen sink too, Lucian? Because are you carrying tiger iron or tiger eye, which is also a very good grounding one, grounding crystal. Pendulum, bloodstone. Bloodstone is fantastic for those who don't know. If you're struggling with cancer or disease, it helps. Lapis lazuli, selenite, hemonite, black obsidian, and a moonstone. Yeah, you're carrying the kitchen sink. I laugh because I do the same thing. I literally will have little pouches of crystals that I take to go. For my friends who are new, if you are looking at carrying crystals, this is a little bit big. I recommend smaller ones. Like this is a fantastic size where you can easily put it in your palm. It's tumbled, so you're not looking at a sharp edge. And you can carry, speaking of moonstone, here's moonstone. You can carry more than one. You can carry them in your hand. You can carry them. These little meshy bags, a lot of times crystal stores, that's how they'll transport them. Keep your crystals out of plastic, though. They don't like that. It really takes away from their power. Lava rock is fantastic. So a lot of crystal bracelets will carry the lava rock, so you can add in the essential oils that are so supportive. They're fantastic. So really, really important that we're using our everyday tools to our advantage, especially with Mercury retrograde in full swing here. So, right, use your crystals, use your bracelets. And we're really lucky because crystal bracelets are stupid easy to find right now. They're everywhere. It's a thing again. It's amazing how the woo-woo goes in and out of fashion. And for us ladies, we can carry it very close to our heart chakra. So if you need to and want to, you can carry it in your bra. Again, please, please, please make sure that you're using a polished stone. The rough stones may look like they're not going to be pointy and jaggy, but that's the last thing you need is to have a crystal impale you somewhere. Let's go on to some more blessings. What blessings can my friends embrace for the week of May 30th through June 5th? All right. At least they kept it on the table. Last time they didn't keep it on the table at all. The solar plexus chakra. So fantastic. I love this deck. I knew I was going to when I saw a few of the pictures, but the fact that they're using the 5th dimensional chakras on top of it, so fantastic. So your solar plexus is right by your tummy. This is where your anxiety and your fear is stored, right? That's why we get those butterflies in our stomach when we're upset or worried. So the solar plexus really will support you in that willpower, that determination, not to back down, to be open to the insight, the guidance, the wisdom, open to asking those questions, getting clarification, because it is something that does take a little bit of gumption, because it's so easy just to try and recluse ourselves. Why put ourselves out there and ask questions where we may not get an answer we want? What is it that you heard me say? That leads people to, well, A, were they listening to you at all? And B, you're able to check in to make sure they're hearing what you said. And what's even better, I usually preempt that with saying, we've been talking a lot. This is what I heard you say to me. Did I miss anything? And then just kind of paraphrase it. That way, not only do they feel heard, you're double checking that you didn't misinterpret something that they were trying to share with you. That takes a lot of willpower, a lot of concentration. That inner fire, it's going to be needed. Speaking of crystals for inner fire, so of course, carnelian. That's more of a sacral, but you can use carnelian. citrine, any yellow crystal. That's going to support you with that inner fire, that inner flame. Yep, citrine. That's why there's yellow here. Some people like to add in that sacral fire. That's why I suggested also the, where did I put it? The carnelian. Because it is, well, it's a happy stone. It's the happy stone, actually. And it comes in all 6 shades of orange, including a yellow orange that you can use. And you can hit both your sacral, which is your 2nd chakra, and your solar plexus. I think I said this before. Alignment. I brought out a meditation in December where I worked on aligning those core chakras. Fantastic meditation to make sure you're staying in the high vibration and that your chakra systems are functioning and firing well. Many of us get off kilter, even Reiki masters. I've done a check and I'm like, ooh, why is my sacral way over there? Let's bring it all into line. Fantastic, easy 30-minute meditation. And I don't think I said it yet in this video. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. But I do have 3 going on 4. Tomorrow there will be a new one for meditation playlists that are going to support you adding into those tools. So the one I'm talking about is my Just You and Me series, and it was a balancing meditation. Fantastic to help you be able to stay and maintain that high vibration throughout some challenges, because Mercury retrograde likes to add in a lot more bumps along the way. All right, let's get in and end this off with any final insight, wisdom, and guidance that we can share with my friends for the week of May 30th through June 5th. Okay. The Queen of Pentacles. Such a beautiful card. So the Queen, of course, you're looking at that nurturing, caring energy, but also that grounded stability. It's full of fertility and growth. This week offers you a lot of opportunities for that growth, for that movement, for that abundance that we want and need. We just need to take it slow and share some love back to ourselves. Yes, Mercury retrograde gives us problems and challenges with our communication, which includes our communication with ourselves. So being mindful of that, being mindful of the communication of what you're sharing with you and with others will go a long way in this week. Taking that time to make sure you've got the tools you want, that you're making sure you've got that balanced perspective, that you're making those high vibrational choices for you really amplifies her power and helps her to direct her sun into a more aligned movement. Oh, I love this card. The Page of Cups. Of course, we're looking at that childlike, playful, and quizzical energy. Now, we have the cups. So we're looking at that emotion and that intuition. The page reminds us that it's going to be the intuition that we need to follow, not our emotion, because our emotion's just going to slow us down. We'll get stuck in that heartache and fear. Our intuition, though, it's going to blow the doors off of things. Also, the page reminds us to use our creativity, because this is the cups, flexibility in what we're going to be doing over the next couple of days. Really owning this week and supporting you with what you want to get done, because that is always fun. 6 of Cups. That reminiscing card, reminding us that, of course, we have lived through Mercury retrograde a number of times. If we average 3 per year, it's been the number. Plus, it's been going on since the dawn of time, which means we've got lifetimes of this. What's worked? And we don't want to get too much bogged down on what hasn't. Rather, what could you have done differently to get a result that you want? We don't want to get stuck in that heartache. We don't want to get stuck in the good old days. So easy to do, especially when we're challenged. We want to, again, go back to those tools. Go back to what is going to work for you right now. Really important. Staying in the present and helping you to embrace what's here. Because there's a lot here. We just like to get ourselves too far stretched forward or stuck in the past. On Monday, on tomorrow's would be Monday, I have a new meditation playlist. It's more of a tool playlist. It's called mindfulness. Many of you have heard it. It's kind of a click word right now. However, it is still an important tool that can help you. And the first meditation is on breath, helping you to connect in with you, work, and of course, it's me. We do a little bit of energetic healing in it. And that way you feel stronger, more present, and able to embrace the wonders, the joys of the day, and start to connect into some of these energies, some of these ahas that we know are coming your way. All right. So do we have any questions? I don't know if Gio, if you're still here, if you said you had a question. I know that it's a lot of information. I'm not going to ask you to give me back any insight into it. I'll let you guys type and it's all good. So like I said, I've got one more Tarot 101 that's coming out later this week. But I think in June, I'm going to bring out some of this energetical stuff that I've been touching into. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the energy first or crystals first, because both I get a lot of questions on. You're good, Lucian? That's awesome. I haven't chatted with you in a long time, so I'm glad you're back. I know you're stupid busy. So if Gio's around and I miss you, just email me and I'll connect in with you. You want me to do energy first? Okay. I will cover it all. I just know that I wanted to get the basics of tarot and let people start playing with it, and then start to play in some of this other stuff that we're looking at, because it's really important. We are so blessed to be able to connect in and have so much knowledge and different practices at our fingertips. We've practiced them in different lifetimes as well. So it's going to be really fun. All right. Okay, Lucian, I will do energy for the beginning of July, because June's already done. June's is already bagged and reeled. I just need to download it onto the YouTube world. So it will take me later this week. Okay, guys. Well, I will be back on Friday. Yes, on Friday afternoon. I'll be doing the weekly reading on Friday for next week. And then the week after, I'll be doing them again on Sunday. Every now and then, I have to take a weekend off for my kiddos. So, all right. You guys have a fantastic week. And I will see you guys next time. Until tomorrow, my friends.